Miss Medea.
Hi, Miss Medea.
Alright. This is my interview with my brother. Oh, snap. I need to bring up. Wow, that wasn't smart.
You have to bring up your questions.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so first, can you explain what your thoughts about high school were when you were coming into into ninth grade? Like over the summer, what were you looking forward to? And what were your hopes? What did you want to achieve? That kind of thing.
Well, for the most part, since I was coming from a public school where I think maybe one or two people from my school were going to MIDI, I was kind of nervous just because I wouldn't know very many people at all. So it basically starting over. I wouldn't know anyone. I'd have to basically recreate whatever I had in middle school. And my 8th grade year was probably my favorite year in middle school just because I made really concrete friends and they were always there for me. We could talk about anything. And so leaving that and going to nothing was kind of scary for me. But at the same time, it was nice because in middle school, I was kind of not, I wasn't popular, but I didn't really care, I wasn't really into being popular. I kind of hated that. But it was going to be difficult going into a place where I didn't know what I was going to be, where I was going to stand and what people would think of me. So I'd be able to recreate myself. Nobody knew what I was other than the two people who I came from middle school with. So I'd be able to recreate myself. I could be whoever I wanted to be. There would be no, priors, holding me back. So I was excited about that. Academically, I was kind of nervous just because most of the people who went to MIDI, or at least that I'd heard at that point, came from private school. And from what I heard, private school is so much harder than public school. They learn so much more, and that they're all prepared for more private school basically, since they're coming from private school. And I was coming from public school, and sure, I was doing well in public school, but it's different doing well in public school and doing well in private school. At least I thought so. So I was scared it was going to be a lot harder, and I was going to have to work a lot harder. So I was worried about that. I was worried if I made the right decision, because I had the choice of St. Francis and Bellarmine and MIDI, and it kind of came down, I had to choose one, and I kind of just chose MIDI. I was like, okay, I like MIDI, I want to go to MIDI, but I didn't know if I made the right choice. Maybe I would have been happier at Bellarmine, maybe I would have been happier at St. Francis. But when it came down to it, I chose MIDI, and I was happy. So that's what happened.
Alright.
That's it.
Alright, and then next question. So, can you explain what your friend situation was like freshman year? Who was your first friend? How did you end up making your friends? Was it hard? Were they your best friends, or were you still getting to know them for a long time?
Well, okay. Orientation was the first time I'd ever be able to meet anyone. That was basically my introduction to MIDI and everybody who was there. So I remember that morning I was all nervous, I wanted to wear the right outfit, I wanted to have my hair be perfect. I was so excited. And so I got up and I did my hair, and I woke up at 5:30 or something. It was ridiculous because I wanted everything to be perfect. And then I got to school, then I went to my orientation classroom, and in my orientation classroom was Montina Felice and Vivi Albert, and really, I was sitting up against the wall, up against the wall, right in the corner, and Montina and Livy were sitting right around me, basically like a triangle. It was just us. And I remember Montina was so outgoing, and she was saying hi to everyone, introducing herself, hey, I'm from Gilroy, blah, blah, blah. I know you don't know where Gilroy is, but blah, blah, blah. We are the garlic capital of, et cetera, et cetera. It was ridiculous. And Livy was being moody and quiet in the corner. And it was really weird because I was just kind of like saying hi to whoever said hi to me, and you know, making small conversation with people. So basically, we had like the three different levels of social ability. There's me in the middle, Montina at the top, and Libby at the bottom. And somehow, like, we just clicked. Like, all three of us, we, like, clicked, and we started talking, and then we hung out. And then when school started, we got lunch together, because it was kind of like the only people we knew. And from there, like, I met their friends, and then their friends met my friends that I had made out in my classes, and basically we just kind of formed a group from there. And, I mean, I'm still friends with Montina and Libby, and Julia Bruca is one of my best friends, and I met her through Montina because she lived in Morgan Hill, and like it just kind of went from there, and I'm still friends with all of them. So yeah, best friends. Made the
first day. All right, and then was there like a singular situation in freshman year that was like maybe like hard on you, kind of thing? Like, was there like a friend situation, like an academic situation, a sports situation, just anything that like really helped shape the rest of like how you were as a person the next 4 years?
I mean, kind of. I played freshman soccer. Excuse me, cookies. I played freshman soccer, and I thought it was gonna be fun because I played soccer for like 9 years before that, and I was decently good at soccer, and so I thought it was gonna be fun. And when I tried out, there were like a lot of people who were better than me, so I wasn't really sure I was gonna make the team. And I almost like didn't really care if I had made the team or not. But I ended up making the team as an alternate, which was fine. Like I didn't really care. But when I started when I started practicing with them, and when I started going to games, it just kind of dawned on me that like school soccer was a lot different than just general, club soccer, because they were more focused on winning rather than enjoying themselves. And I mean, winning was important in club soccer too. It's just in high school it had a lot more backing it with like if you won, it meant a lot more, and people were a lot more focused on the winning aspect than the enjoying yourself aspect. So I kind of stopped enjoying it, and my coach he was kind of obnoxious a little bit, just because I wasn't like the other guys. They were all into, girls and like talking about girls and, oh, soccer, I'm so macho, like, oh, I broke my leg and blah, blah, blah. And I was just kind of sitting in the corner, like, texting, and I'd, like, put my 2 cents in whenever I could. But, I mean, I didn't really relate to them all that much. So my coach kind of saw that, and he, rather than trying to include me, and I didn't expect him to, but, rather than trying to include me and stuff, he'd rather, be like, dude, Nikhil, like, why aren't you trying to, be part of the team? Like, why can't you contribute to conversations? It was weird. So from there, I kind of realized that the whole school sports thing wasn't really my deal. Like, I wasn't really enjoying it. So in 8th grade, I did the school play for the first time, and I thought, maybe that's what I wanted to do in high school. So I joined the school play, and I was in Beauty and the Beast my first year, and it was probably like one of my most favorite moments in high school. Just going on stage for Beauty and the Beast, being the first one to have like an actual line was the best. I was the first allo. Like the beginning song, Little Town, blah 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 blah, and then allo. That one, I was the first allo. Like it was me, and I was a freshman. It was awesome. And just the people I met there, I related to them so much more. And I don't know, it was a better experience. I felt a lot more comfortable and safe there. So that's why I stopped playing soccer for MIDI, and I did plays the rest of the year. All 4 years I did plays.
Perfect. Schmank you. Next. So, your sophomore year was the year that everybody found out you were gay. You came out. I don't know, yeah. And so, how exactly did everybody else, like, find out that happen? Like, can you explain how the school ended up finding out?
To be honest, I don't really know. I mean, people started coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, so are you gay?" And I was like, "Yep, yeah, I am." But it was weird because I never told them, so I'm sure, just kind of like went around. People started telling people, and then eventually, everybody just knew or like assumed. But the people who came up to me, they were ballsy. Like, they, obviously, I guess they really wanted to know, or, like, they didn't really care about the whole, it being awkward if I wasn't thing. But, I kind of respected it, because I'd rather people ask me and have, like, actually know from the source what was true rather than, assuming what somebody else told them. So I kind of respected the fact that some people, were able to come up to me and ask me, "Hey, are you gay?" And I'd be like, "Yep, it's true, I am."
Okay. So just to make sure, it was the beginning of your sophomore year in which basically your grade or the school found out or knew.
Yeah, I mean, I heard later on that people were, like, didn't know, and, like, there was this one girl who, like, later on told me, like, "Oh, like, yeah, sophomore year, I totally had a crush on you, and, like, I didn't want to tell you," and then somebody told me, like, "Oh, he's gay," and she was, like, shocked, like, she didn't believe it, and I was like, well, I mean, I didn't know, I thought I was being kind of obvious about it, but alright. So, I don't know, it was just funny, like, stuff like that happened, but, I mean, not everybody knew. I mean, I graduated, and I still think that some people didn't know. So, I know, right?
Alright. Next. One sec. Mom, can you grab me the piece of paper that's on the printer?